Chapter 2, Sunray Farm. In a secluded valley 33 miles northwest of Woodridge Academy was Sunray Farm. You wouldn't know it was a farm if you saw it. There were no animals, no green pastures, and no crops. At least none that grew big enough for anyone to see with the naked eye. Instead, what you would see, if you made it past the armed guards, past the electric fence topped with barbed wire, past the alarms and security cameras, would be rows and rows of giant storage tanks. You also wouldn't be able to see the network of tunnels and underground pipes connecting the storage tanks to the main laboratory, also underground. Hardly anyone in Heathcliff knew about the Sunray Farm, and certainly not Tamaya or her friends. Those who had heard of it had only vague ideas about what was going on there. They might have heard of bioline, but probably didn't know exactly what it was. A little more than a year before, that is, about a year before Tamaya DeWaldy cut her hair and started the 5th grade, the United States Senate Committee on Energy and the Environment held a series of secret hearings regarding Sunray Farm and bioline. The following testimony is excerpted from that inquiry. Senator Wright: So you worked at Sunray Farm for 2 years before being fired, is that correct? Dr. Mark Humberg: No, that is not correct. They never fired me. Senator: I'm sorry, I'd been informed. Doctor: Well, they may have tried to fire me, but I had already quit. I just hadn't told anyone yet. Senator: I see. Another senator says, But you no longer work there. The doctor says, I couldn't be in the same room with Fitzy a minute longer. The man's crazy, and when I say crazy, I mean 100% bananas. Senator: Are you referring to Jonathan Fitzman, the inventor of bioline? The doctor: Everyone thinks he's some kind of genius, but who did all the work? Me, that's who, or at least I would have if he had let me. He'd pace around the lab, muttering to himself, his arms flailing. It was impossible for the rest of us to concentrate. He'd sing songs, and if you asked him to stop, he'd look at you like you were the one who was crazy. He wouldn't even know he was singing, and then, out of the blue, he'd slap the side of his head and shout, No, no, no! And suddenly I'd have to stop everything I'd been working on and start all over again. Senator: Yes, we've heard that Mr. Fitzman can be a bit eccentric. The other senator: Which is one reason why we are concerned about bioline. Is it truly a viable alternative to gasoline? Senator Wright: This country needs clean energy, but is it safe? The doctor: Clean energy? Is that what they're calling it? There's nothing clean about it. It's an abomination of nature. You want to know what they're doing at Sunray Farm? You really want to know? Because I know. I know. Senator Foote: Yes, we want to know. That's why you've been called before this committee, Dr. Humbard. It's Dr. Humbard, not Mr. Humbard. I have a PhD in microbiology. Senator Wright: Our apologies. Tell us, please, Dr. Humbard, what are they doing at Sunray Farm that you find so abominable? Dr. Mark Humberg says, They have created a new form of life, never seen before. Senator Wright: A kind of high-energy bacteria, as I understand it, to be used as fuel. Dr. Mark Humberg: Not bacteria, slime mold. People always confuse the two. Both are microscopic, but they are really quite different. We began with some simple slime mold, but Fitzy altered its DNA to create something new, a single-celled living creature that is totally unnatural to this planet. Sunray Farm is now growing these man-made microorganisms, these tiny Frankensteins, so that they can burn them alive inside automobile engines. Senator Foote: Burn them alive? Don't you think that's a bit strong, Dr. Humbard? We're talking about microbes here. After all, every time I wash my hands or brush my teeth, I kill hundreds of thousands of bacteria. Dr. Mark Humberg: Just because they're small doesn't mean their lives aren't worthwhile. Sunray Farm is creating life for the sole purpose of destroying it. Senator Wright: But isn't that what all farmers do?